Hi guys, so a little while ago I did a review of the Hermes Oran sandals as well as kind of the best dupes for the Hermes sandals, but I might have been wrong on which the best ones are because I kind of, as soon as I saw the Steve Madden ones, I was like, oh my gosh, they look so much like Hermes, and I got them. But after doing some more research, I did find a lot of other styles, so that's what I'm going to share with you today. And I'm sorry I've been missing a few weeks. I had shingles on my face, so if you're wondering why my makeup's blotchy on that side, it's because I'm still letting it heal and I'm trying to avoid that area with the makeup. So anyway, thank you for coming back and watching me again. So I'm going to share with you today 3 very similar styles to the Hermes sandals with that kind of iconic H leather top strap. 2 are from Steve Madden and 1 is by French Sole. They're the most similar I could find. I know some people say Sam Edelman does one. I don't find those as similar. These are the 3 best styles I found. I have them all, so we're going to try them on. We're going to compare them to the original Hermes. I'm not going to talk too much about these ones, the Steve Madden Hoku sandals, just because I already did a totally separate review from that. The same as the original Hermes sandals. There's another review for that as well. So I'm going to kind of just concentrate on the other 2 and then talk about how this compares to the other ones, because now I've had a chance to try these on, wear them around a lot more, drive in them. They're actually not great for driving, and I'll get back to that. But I kind of fell out of love with them as much as I thought. Super comfortable, but I find them very wide, so I kind of slip forward and then my toes spill over the edge. If you have wide feet, I think these are going to be great for you. But anyway, I'm going to start with the French Sole sandals because they're ones we haven't looked at yet. Don't worry, this is a romper. I know it looks like a dress, but I'm not going to flash you because it's got shorts built into it. Anyway, let's start with French Sole. They are the French Sole Alibi sandal. It looks very similar to the Hermes sandals. Obviously, that's why I'm including them in this kind of best Hermes dupes review. When I say dupe, don't mistake me. I'm not saying fakes. Fakes are obviously illegal. They are similar kind of inspired styles with that H leather top strap. But anyway, the French Sole are made in Brazil. They're the most expensive of the slide sandals in this review. They're real leather. And I don't really want to say the price. I'm going to give you the price, but if you're watching this for in a year's time, don't be like, oh my god, the price is wrong, because obviously they're probably going to go up or they might go on sale. They range around $150 depending on where you get them from. And I ordered them in a 6.5 and a 7 because my normal size is kind of somewhere between those. It depends on the manufacturer, the brand. But a lot of the reviews say to size up half a size, so I kind of did my regular and kind of sized up. So we'll see which fit the best. I also did 2 colors so you could see which ones you like the best. So if you're looking for the most similar style to the Hermes, it's going to be the cognac color in the French Sole sandals, because some Hermes sandals are tone on tone, but others like the black, brown and white are contrast. So the white ones, the fact they don't have the contrast stitching makes it obvious they're not the real ones. So if you do the white sandals, it has brown stitching. If you do the brown sandals, it has white stitching. The cognac color in the French sandals is the only one with the contrast stitching. It has the white with the brown. It looks beautiful versus the rest, like the white, it's tone on tone. They're tonal stitching. So this has white. So if you're going for the one that looks the most like Hermes, go for the cognac. I got white and pink because they kind of, white obviously goes with everything. And I like pink, as you know, if you've watched my videos before or read my blog. So in the white, I did a size 7. In the pink, I did a 6.5. I'm not going to do one of each because I have ones that are slightly bigger than the other. I think a lot of us do. So I'm going to do a pair at a time and kind of try them on. I also want to see how comfortable they are. A lot of people say because it has this kind of squishy insole, they're supposed to be a lot more comfortable than Hermes. So a lot of the reviews that are comparing the Hermes sandals to the French Sole sandals do say the French Sole win comfort-wise. Because the leather is a lot softer and because of the insole, they say they don't have a breaking in period, but we'll see. Versus because the Hermes are calf skin, they do have a breaking in period. And some people say they don't break in at all and they left them with blisters. But we're gonna have a look at these. So the material is leather and then it has a man-made outer sole and a rubber sole on the bottom, which I really like because I found the smooth leather on the Hermes sandals very slippery. I'd have had them resoled like I did my Dior sandals, just because, you know, if you're wearing them, you want them for comfort, you want them for walking around, you'll be sliding all around. So let's pop these on. First impressions. So what I really like about them, obviously they're very sleek. They have that beautiful leather H on the top, Great like flat for the summer, really classic chic style that's not going to date. And then when I talked about that insole there, you can kind of see, trying to get the right angle for you, you can kind of see that padded insole that goes all the way along these. So let's pop them on. Sitting in them, they look the perfect fit. Let's stand and see. Yes, I would definitely say they do run a slightly small or true to size, but they definitely don't run big. I think the 7 is a really good fit for me because I don't want when I walk to end up with the feet spilling out the front. That's why I often find they start to fit me really well and then they stretch out on the width of them and then my feet just go everywhere. I don't have particularly narrow feet, but I just feel like the cut of these often ends up really wide. I feel like you're looking at me through a window, but my closet door is not wide enough to do a full angle, and if I do it this way, it's a very, very narrow closet space, but I wanted to do it in here just because it's a try-on, and I feel like on the carpet you can't see it, and my tiles are going to tear up the soles. That's why I'm in here, so bear all with me. But I'm really, really happy with the look of these. Comfort-wise, they feel really good. So these are the most expensive ones of them, so I want to compare and see how they look compared to the others and if they're worth paying a little bit more for than the other ones. But let's take a look at the pink style first and compare them to the white. Okay, so this is the pink and white. They are literally the prettiest shade of a pink. They will go with a ton of things. They go with pink, they go with black, they're not as versatile obviously as white, but this is just such a great color. Like I said, these are the 6.5 and these are the 7. So for size difference, that's what you're going to be at. There's not actually a huge, I'm gonna make sure that's really even, amount of difference between the 7 and the 6.5, but it is there. So I'm gonna pop these on and see how they can compare. Now I know I said before that I thought the 7 was a perfect fit and all of the reviews said to size down half a size. I've put the 6.5 on. Now they are really, really close to the toe on the end, but the width feels better to me. So I think I'm gonna order the white in the 6.5 of these because I just feel like that's a better fit and knowing the leather's gonna soften and kind of like stretch out a little bit. So if you're not sure, I would recommend like doing what I did and just order both sizes and play around and see which one you feel like fits the best. Don't go off the reviews, you do you, because everyone's foot widths are different. Obviously wider feet, they might want to size up, narrower size down, the same size. So that's where the sizing gets a little bit tricky with the French sole sandals, but absolutely beautiful. If they were kind of like more affordable and they were like kind of like the Steve Madden price, I would be tempted to get both the pink and the white because they are such gorgeous shoes. All right, on to the next ones. Okay, we are on to the last Hermes sandal dupe, which is the Steve Madden Hadyn sandal, however you want to say it, but it's spelled Hadyn. So the price point of these is kind of halfway between the other Steve Madden pair and the French sole. They range between $60 and $80, depending if you get them on sale, if you go for the leather, the denim, the suede, what kind of pair you get. But I'll link all the best prices I could find below for these. So what's kind of cool about these ones is, start with the stitching. It is very similar to the other two. It is the tonal, it's not the contrast stitching that the Hermes has. But the one thing that's unique on this pair compared to the other two pairs is it has that slightly squared toe. Both the others are round and Hermes has that slightly squared toe. So these are the most similar looking when you're looking at it that way. They're also that streamlined shape, which is kind of more similar to the Hermes as well. So let me just grab the other pair to compare them for you. Now we have all three. It's kind of easier for you to see. So I'm going to put both Steve Madden's this end and then the French sole that end. So when you're looking at the two Steve Madden ones, you can see what I'm talking about, right? All three. This has a square toe, those have the round toe. This is going to be more similar to your Hermes sandal. So for me, I think it's a better Hermes sandal dupe. When you're looking at them this way, again, very, very similar, but when we get to the aesthetic, the Hermes sandals are kind of more streamlined. They're that flat heel. So, and they also have the white and then the brown. So this and this one are going to be the most similar when you're looking at them from the side profile. The top profile, because the stitching like we talked about on Hermes is contrast, none of these are contrast. They're all white on white. So when you look at those uppers, they're very, very similar. Comfort wise, okay, when it comes to comfort, I'm kind of doing this so you can kind of decide for you whether I was right or whether I was wrong on saying before on these ones being the best Hermes sandal dupe. That was the Steve Madden Hoku. Now we're looking at all three of them, comparing. These two do have very similar soles. They both have that padded insole, which is really nice, versus the molded insole. I'm like trying to juggle all of these on the Hoku. So, and then these have the white, which I think looks a lot smarter than this, which is kind of that solid tan. So for me, I feel like, you know what? Do I keep comparing or do I put this on? Let me talk about the Hadyn more, and then we'll get back to this comparison. So because I wasn't sure of my sizing in the Steve Madden Hadyn sandals, I ordered the 6.5 and the 7. So I'm gonna start with the 6.5, pop these on and see how they feel. From the outset, I love the look of them. They kind of look very kind of classy. They look very like the Hermes. I like the padded insole. I like the rubber on the bottom of those. That's kind of a really cool feature. So they do have synthetic lining with that cushion footbed I talked about, and then that durable synthetic outer sole. And that contrast sole, as well as that kind of squared end, is really kind of what makes them look like a really good Hermes Sandals dupe. Oh, they are really comfy when I put them on. And you know what? They're the narrowest of all three. Like I said before, I found the Hoku very, very wide. The French sole were a little wide, which is why I kind of sized down to the 6.5. I might size up. Let me try the 7 on these, but if not, these will work because I like that they're narrow. They feel like they're supporting and holding my foot in, and the leather is quite stiff. I will say that on them, but I feel like it's going to give and soften quite quickly because where that H is, it's giving me that flexibility rather than having a solid top strap where it would cut in across the top. Okay, so I'm going to pop the 7s on for you, but I just wanted to show you really quickly the difference between the 6.5 and the 7 in the Steve Madden Hadyn ones. So you can see that there. They also say to allow for natural color variations in the leather because they are genuine leather and they're hand finished. So don't worry about that either. Okay, so I popped on the 7s, and the biggest thing I notice is the width in them. I feel like because they're wider, they're gonna stretch out and they're going to be too big for me. So I'm gonna stick with a 6.5 on these. But my suggestion would be if you have wider feet, you might want to go, I'm between a 6.5 and a 7. The 7, if I have wide feet, would probably fit me better because I don't. And I want that support, and knowing they're gonna stretch out, the 6.5 for me are a better fit. Let me now talk about the 3 of them, which I think are the best Hermes dupes, and show you a close-up of the leathers because the leather is very different on all 3. Another thing that's really good about the Steve Madden Hadyn slides is they have a sparkly pair, and I actually have my eye on the Hermes one of these, and these are a fraction of the price. So if you want a sparkly pair, the Hadyn sandals are the only one that come with that sparkly kind of crystal rhinestone finish on there. They've got that tan beige underneath and then kind of that silver effect on the top. So they're kind of like a silver and gold. You kind of get away with wearing them with either colored jewelry, but just a really pretty kind of glamour slides for the evening. Okay, now I've tried all 3 brands on. I'm going to kind of compare them side by side. I also want to show you a close-up of the leather because the leather between them is slightly different on each, and then kind of give you my review on which I think is the best Hermes dupe and why. So a few things to consider when deciding whether you want to splurge or save on the Hermes sandal dupes is if you're looking for a specific color. Hermes comes in over 25 different colors. The most these come in is 8 colors, but 8 is still a good amount to choose from. So I feel like you can find a color and material you want in them. The other thing, obviously the biggest difference between them is the price point. $700 after the recent Hermes price hike versus $150 for the most expensive one of these, like under $50 for the cheapest one. What I'm going to try and show you as closely as I can is the difference in the leathers. So the Steve Madden Hoku is a smooth leather. It doesn't have any grain to it. And then when you go into the French sole, that's also a really smooth leather. The Steve Madden Hadyn sandal is the only one, can you see, that's a grained leather. So to me, this one just looks the most expensive of all of them. So comfort wise, if you want a comfortable slide sandal for every day, I think the Steve Madden Hoku sandal is the most affordable and is probably the most comfortable, especially if a wider foot. If you are looking for the best quality leather, I would probably say the French sole. It is more of the most expensive one. It is a really, really lovely leather. If you're looking for the best Hermes sandal dupe, the winner for me, I did get it wrong last time. Okay, Steve Madden was right, but for me, it's the Steve Madden Hadyn sandal because of this front toe that this doesn't have. This is way more accurate. Also, I don't know if you can tell, that H cutout is a lot crisper and cleaner than the French sole. They both have that lovely padded insole. But the Steve Madden one, I also like that it does have more of a grip on the rubber sole. So for me, this is just, I was so torn between both of these because, I don't know, I think that this one might fit me slightly better lengthwise, but slightly too wide. This might be slightly too short, but slightly too narrow. I feel like Goldilocks on the Impossible Hunt here. But I feel like this is going to stretch out. So for me, the Steve Madden Hadyn sandal is the winner for the best Hermes dupe. But again, it's personal choice, personal aesthetic, depends on your budget as well, what color you're looking for, what's most important to you. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, because I've tried to answer a ton of questions with this, and I know there's quite a lot to cover, and I know they look very, very similar as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe.